who you are and what are some of the passions that drive you?
Oh my, passions that drive me. Lots of passions. Lots of different happiness. Um, right now, we a few years ago started an organization called Amicus, and we work with homeless women and their children, particularly focusing on veteran women. And a couple months ago, we opened a house for them. It's a 6 bedroom, 3 bathroom house, and we have right now 5 women in there and 4 children.
Mm.
And we look at this as a model of a solution to the lack of affordable housing. Women pay rent, and they live there. There's certain rules they have to abide by. They can live there as long as they want. It's shared housing, cooperative housing, and we hope that this model will prove itself out, and it's one of the things that we can do to address the fact that so many people can't afford housing right now. That's my primary interest right now. Of course, I'm an activist and I'm involved with everything. I also do a lot of spoken word. Just did a performance over at the Girls Think Tank. They had their picnic there, and I did a poem about homeless women. And I'm really angry right now that there were at least a dozen police lined up outside this picnic that was for homeless people. Girls Think Tank does this every year, and what they do is they sell tickets for the picnic, and people buy it for $15. They get lunch for themselves and a homeless person. And so every year this has been very well attended by homeless people. They spread out their blankets and they enjoy a nice day out. We have great speakers and performances. You can probably even hear the band that's going on over there now. Because those police were all standing there in a threatening manner, we had very few homeless people attend this year. I don't understand how we have a city that tells us that we don't have money for basic necessities, basic services for the homeless that we have. We have an unbelievable number of people that are living on the streets right now. And they were going to close the only day center that we have for them because they don't have funds. And yet we could afford 12 or more policemen. I don't know if they were part of the police force or Homeland Security or some secret police or what it was, but it was intimidation and it was disgusting. And I don't understand what kind of society we are, that's where our priorities are. And so you happen to get me at a point where I'm really angry about that.
Yeah, I also noted that very same thing. There were groups of 4 and 5 policemen in a circle, and I said to myself, there is $200 to $300 an hour sitting there talking to each other, just giving a police presence for what? Where are the potential crimes? Where is the potential public interest in making sure that any of us, be it Occupy or the homeless or others, feel the presence of the police authority? They are props in a game. So tell me a little bit about what you think should be the vision of community radio. How can community radio serve San Diego, and how can San Diego support community radio?
Well, I like the fact that this is integrated with the web because I think a lot more people have access to that. We've lost control of the media, and the masses don't even know that they're being fed propaganda. This is the kind of situation that I remember as a kid we heard about in Russia. It's, those communists, they're telling people the propaganda and then the people believe it. And I remember thinking as a teenager, well, what's the point? Why would anybody buy a newspaper if everything in there was wrong, was a lie? And I never thought that would be the situation here in this country. But it is. And I don't even bother picking up the Union Tribune. It's just all lies. It's on the news, events that I go to that I witness, and then I come home and I see it on the news and I see it slanted and biased and completely twisted around. So we do need an outlet where we can get the truth out. People need another perspective. All of this fair and balanced Fox News is about as fair and balanced as seesaw. So it's critical that we get this out. When we had a radio station, when we had KLSD, it was just generated what we saw finally outputting it as Occupy. It got community together. So many activists that I know because they would call in and KLSD, people like Barbara Cummings and Martha Sullivan. And when they put something out that there was going to be an event, man, hundreds of people showed up. We've lost that. And I hope that KNSJ will be a replacement for that.
Just for the record, I mean, state who you are, and again, what would be your thought about how KNSJ could be a catalyst for change, for organizing?
Well, I'm JeenI Crezenzo, troublemaker. I've run for Congress. I've been an outspoken proponent for change and against injustice in every way, in every manifestation of it, from being a peace activist to working right now so much with the people that are living on the street. And it's hard to say what we can do right now. So much of my time is fighting, feeling helpless, and so much of it on the other side is feeling empowered by all the people that are coming out, that are in the face of this police state that we're in, are standing up and having the courage to say what we should do. And I was president of Activist San Diego for a while, and I fully support everything that you're doing. It just turned out to be too many irons in the fire for me, and any way that I can help, I will.
Well, we would love to see at some point a program where the community could really listen to the homeless. One of the things that most impressed me in the early days of Occupy last year, the number of homeless who took the microphone and were profoundly eloquent. What their presentations were deep, were organized, intuitive, and these are voices that have been totally lost and censored, and are very, they break the mold of who we think the homeless are, and it makes it very easy for society to ignore the homeless because we think they are all crazy, psychotic, neurotic, or thieves.
Anyone who spends a night on the sidewalk, not just camping out on the sidewalk, but knowing that you have no place to go home to. That trauma of being completely, genuinely lost, that no one cares about you, that you don't have a place to go to the bathroom, you don't have a place to put your stuff, you don't know where you're going to get money from to get out of this, because it's a series of dominoes that fall. When you lose your home, you can't keep a job, you don't have a place to shower, and you don't have a phone, and so then the loss of income becomes permanent, and then everything becomes, you can't get out of it. And that trauma is so emotionally devastating that people who are homeless are all suffering from post-traumatic stress. And I don't call it post-traumatic stress disorder because it's not a disorder. It's perfectly human to have that trauma and to react to it in the ways that people do. People hoard, they become paranoid, they manifest actions that you would think are are absurd.
Yeah.
But in their situation, it's a perfectly normal response. They're human beings. So it's not surprising that you heard profound words coming from them. They're ordinary people who have had tragedy strike them. And it can strike you. A poem that I just read over there at the Girls Think Tank is that this can hit you like a truck coming around a corner. You never see it happen. And it could happen to any of us. You have loss of a job, and then you have a health problem, and you're bankrupt, or you've got these kids with student loans that can't find work. And all of a sudden, you're traumatized. You're in a situation that you can't get out of, and society rejects you completely. So we have to change that.
Thank you, Jeannie.
You're welcome. Thank you.